Hey, what is going on, Miami Dolphins fans? Welcome back to the Fins Up Network, a victory edition of the recap and takeaways from the Dolphins Bills game. Because as you know, the Miami Dolphins beat the Bills 21 to 19, 3-0, first place in the AFC East. Are you guys cramping up? Are you guys cramping up after watching that? Man, the players thought they had it bad. They're not the ones sitting back watching those games, especially the last 2 weeks. Oh, man, tough on the blood pressure, tough on the heart. Obviously, just kidding. Hell of an effort by the teams right there playing in that heat. And I tell you what, it has not been easy being a Dolphins fan the last 2 weeks with the amount of stress that we've been put through during those games. But I probably speak for all of us when I say we'll take the stress if it comes to wins like that. But as we do following games, going to give my recap, top takeaways from the game. But as always, want to hear from you as well. So drop those takeaways from the Dolphins win in the comments below. Let's start talking about those 3-0 first place Miami Dolphins. Last week, one of my top takeaways was leaky D. Today, we say the D does just enough. It is crazy. You watch that game and you get upset so many times at this defense. Numerous missed tackles, numerous players, not just one guy, but numerous guys falling for Josh Allen's pump fake when you have him dead to rights. It's like leaving your feet against the jump shooter. Don't do it. Find his hips and just wrap up and tackle. That's got to be a point of emphasis moving forward. But so many guys falling for those pump fakes. But wait, keep the big picture in mind because that is the first time since December 6th of last season that the Buffalo Bills were held to under 20 points. They only scored less than 20 points 3 times all of last season. You've got to keep the big picture in mind when judging Sunday's game. Man, the Bills are really damn good. Josh Allen, as we saw, is unreal. His accuracy since coming into the NFL, that was one of his downsides, his accuracy and decision making. Holy remarkable improvement. We are going to be in a dogfight for years to come against these guys. But defensively, guys like Nick Needham, despite, yes, he was on the wrong end of some pretty crucial plays earlier, came up with two huge pass breakups late in the game. The pass rush that's been not existent for the first 2 weeks. They had 4 sacks today, and yes, I know they likely should have had more. Against a different quarterback, they would have had more, but they got home today with 4 sacks. Javon Holland, dude was everywhere, breaking up passes at the last second. 10 tackles, 1.5 sacks. The forced fumble early in the game, he came up huge. So yes, defensively, still plenty to improve on. That performance was by no means perfect, but when we needed the stops today, specifically at the very end of the game when they ran out of time and the drive before when they stopped them at the goal line, they showed up. They got the win over one of the NFL's best teams. Let's move on to the next takeaway, and that's the brand new mentality. So what do I mean by this? I mean when it's 3rd and 22 and we're taking shot plays downfield to Jaylen Waddle rather than just running a simple draw play and punting. I mean when our quarterback goes from rifling a touchdown pass to River Cracraft to then shortly after getting hit late, taking the hit, likely going to the locker room with what we all thought was going to be a concussion that completely ended the day, to coming back and showing complete command of the offense when Teddy Bridgewater came in and it looked like it was going to be a long second half. That is what I mean by this brand new mentality. And there are plenty more examples from the first 3 weeks of the season, but these are all things that I am giving a lot of credit to Mike McDaniel for. To be 3-0 as a rookie head coach against New England, Baltimore, and Buffalo. Dolphins fans, I am going to tell you it is different this year. Our defense was on the field for 90 plays today in that heat. By comparison's sake, offensively, we ran 39 plays. The Bills had the ball for 40 minutes and 40 seconds. That leaves the Dolphins with 19 minutes and 20 seconds. They had 497 yards of total offense. We had 212. There's no way anyone simply looking at the numbers from this game would think that we had won the game. But this team is fighting their ass off for the coach, literally finding new ways to win each and every week. Look at last week. Tyreek goes 11 catches, 190 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This week he goes 4 catches, 33 yards. And yes, honestly, it is great if you have a calling card that you can rely on more often than not, but it's another thing when you can win in a variety of ways. And that's essentially what we have seen this team do through 3 weeks so far this season against really, really good opponents. Well, I got another takeaway here, and it's big guys, all of them. Emphasis on the all of them. Because I said earlier, the offense was only on the field for 39 plays. But the Dolphins' offensive line and their defensive line, but I'm talking about their offensive line here, need some credit for today's win. They did give up 2 sacks. They did give up a few pressures. But think about what was asked about them. The Buffalo Bills entered this game, I believe it was either having 9 or 9.5 sacks through the first 2 weeks. They are a menacing defensive front that causes damn near every single team that they play tons of issues. And not only did our guys hold up when they needed to, but more than the typical starting 5 guys came in and played. And a lot of those guys played through injury as well. So you got Teron Armstead, who was questionable all week, didn't practice basically all week, comes in, plays the entire game. Liam Eichenberg, Connor Williams, snapping issues, by the way. We got to get that fixed. Robert Hunt and Greg Little. And Greg Little, who battled his own injuries today as well. And then obviously both Robert Jones and Larnell Coleman get in and contribute as well. Robert Hunt, I go back to him for a second, both had to play both guard and tackle. So you hear this whole saying about you're only as strong as your weakest link, and that kind of came to fruition today because the Dolphins' offensive line was tested not only by their opponent and injuries, but also the heat as well. And I don't think that this is going to be the last time that this unit is tested all year. So surviving a test like that from a team like the Bills is huge in my opinion and deserves credit from me in today's video. I do have a couple of miscellaneous takeaways that are more on the funny side. I got to jump right into these. These are great. One, how great was it that unlike the Jets who couldn't survive the butt fumble, we survived the butt punt. I hated everything that happened in that sequence as it was playing out. But literally the humorous side of me could not stop laughing watching those replays. I thought that the whole saying, same old Dolphins, ran through my head numerous times, but we survived the butt punt. And number 2, and this might have been the scene of the day from today's game, the Bills offensive coordinator after the final play of the game, just absolutely destroying his equipment and his notes in the coaching box. If you haven't seen that yet, give it a quick search. It is going to be everywhere. But man, think about this. We made another team's coaching staff do that. We're the coaching staff. We're the team that flips out. We made another team's coaching staff do that. So, hey, hats off. My miscellaneous things had to be funny things today, but man, that game deserved it. But that's what I have got, but I want to hear yours as well. So drop your thoughts, your takeaways for your 3-0 AFC East leading Miami Dolphins in the comments below. And stay tuned earlier this week than you have in weeks in the past, because remember, we play the Cincinnati Bengals on Thursday this week. So videos will be coming out earlier than usual this week. But that's what I've got, Dolphins fans. Enjoy this one. Let's hear your comments. And until next time, fins up.